On the Music Industry City Broadcast Network. This is where we look at the latest headlines in music, tech, and what's going on in the industry. We'll be starting the program in just a few moments, but first, some notes about today's program. Feel free to invite your friends to join in this show, and if you'd like to offer your thoughts on any of today's topics, you can request to join the stage and participate in the discussion, or comment in the chat in the video stream. You can find all of today's headlines on our website, musicindustrycity.com. Just head to the latest Music News at Noon post to see all the articles we referenced during today's broadcast. You can also register for free to get unlimited access to all the articles, news, and events in the city. And you may also watch us live on the video stream right from the website or on the Music Industry City YouTube channel. All right, is everybody ready? We begin our countdown right now.
Hello and welcome. It's great to have you with us on this Thursday. I'm Peter Schwing, and here's what's happening. Nirvana may change the Nevermind cover. Los Angeles will require vaccine proof for indoor establishments. Instagram merges IGTV and feed videos. Opulous teams up with artists to let fans invest in their music. And the nighttime sector criticizes Welsh COVID Passport scheme. Plus, so is our daily Spotify update. Those stories are coming up. But first, let's take a look at this day in music history. And I'm not sure. I know Eli can't make it today. I don't know where Angela is. So I'm just gonna kind of. You're stuck with me today. All right. And if you want to check it out on the video live stream, head over to musicindustrycity.com. You'll see it, or on the YouTube channel. All right. So born on this day in 1945, Kevin Godley, drums and vocals for 10cc. In 1951, brought us American singer and songwriter John Cougar Mellencamp. 1967, Tony Braxton. And in 68, Tom York. Vocals, guitars, keyboards for that band you might have heard of called Radiohead. And on this day in history, 1976, big day for John Lennon. He was awarded his green card, permanent residency status, at a hearing in New York which overturned previous efforts by the U.S. government to deport him. The three-judge panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals ruled that his 1968 arrest in Britain for possession of marijuana was, quote, contrary to U.S. ideas and due process and was invalid as a means of banishing the former Beatle from America. All right. And in 2005, Boy George was arrested in New York after police found traces of drugs in his apartment. George had called the police after he thought somebody was breaking into his apartment. When police arrived and made a search, they found traces of cocaine on a computer table. When you find traces of cocaine on a computer table, that's called being out of cocaine. But, you know, that's probably why he also thought somebody was breaking into his apartment. And with that said, that's it for this day in history. So, to set the stage for a discussion, we provide informed perspectives and commentary on the current headlines. If you'd like to offer your thoughts on one of today's topics, you can join the stage. I'd like to say hi to everyone viewing the show on our video stream on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and directly from the musicindustrycity.com website. To stay up to date on this and other program, you can sign up at musicindustrycity.com for free for more news, articles, and events. And with that being said, let's get to it. All right, we begin with this piece from where are we going? We're going to digital music news. All right. To access all the articles today in reference in today's show and throughout the week, visit musicindustrycity.com and view today's music industry news at noon post. This one says, Dave Grohl says Nirvana may change Nevermind album cover after all. The album's 30th anniversary version features the original artwork, but Spencer Eldon, the baby on the cover, has sued the band's estate, claiming the record is, quote, commercial child pornography. As stated in the lawsuit acquired by Digital Music News, quote, neither Spencer nor his legal guardians ever signed a release authorizing the use of any images of Spencer or his likeness, and certainly not of commercial child pornography depicting him. The 30th anniversary re-release on November 12th will have no alterations, but new releases are possible. Grohl told the Sunday Times, quote, I have many ideas of how we should alter that cover, but we'll see what happens. We'll let you know. I'm sure we'll come up with something good. Grohl appears to be tired of being in the legal crosshairs over the album cover. He continues, at some point, unfortunately, it just becomes par for the course. I think that there's much more to look forward and much more to life than getting bogged down in those kinds of things. And fortunately, I don't have to do the paperwork. The baby on the 30th anniversary Nevermind album cover may be the last. The Nevermind special edition includes 94 audio and video tracks, 70 of which are exclusive. The 5 CD Super Deluxe Edition includes all of that. The lawsuit names Nirvana, the photographer, the album's art director, Geffen Records, Nirvana LLC, and Kurt Cobain's estate. Warner Music Group, Universal Music Group, and others are also mentioned. This is something that, let's see, somebody, I think Matt wanted to come up to the stage here. Matt, was there something you wanted to chime in about? Because I think if we just had it in the morning show, we were talking about this. All right. I guess I'm trying to bring you up. Okay. All right, let's moving on to music business worldwide. Opulous teams up with Lil Pump and EDM star Kashmir to let fans invest in their music. Opulous founder Lee Parsons has previously told Music Business Worldwide how crypto-based fan funding is the inevitable model of the future, and this announcement brings further news from this space. S-NFTs, a term coined by Republic, are non-fungible digital assets marketed and sold as a security, as defined by the Securities Act of 1933 and the Exchange Act of 1934. Users will be able to invest directly in artists' music for as little as $100. Republic is an equity crowdfunding platform based in the U.S. that has enabled over 1 million global members to spend over $500 million. Opulous, which uses the Algorand blockchain, raised $6.5 million in June and recently partnered with cryptocurrency exchange Binance to let artists sell non-copyright NFTs. Opulous, devised by the founders of the DIY music service Ditto, says that the new Republic launch will, quote, radically simplify the way in which investors can engage with music. According to the Republic's FAQs, fans investing in music offerings via its platform are typically, quote, buying the music rights through special membership units of an LLC that owns the rights to a song, album, or equivalent. Does this sound really weirdly familiar to what was happening with Damon like before in suing Rockefeller and everything? He was saying, I'm selling my shares of the company, but it's the album that I'm selling the NFT. This sounds pretty confusing here. Are you buying a right of the song? You're buying a right or a share of the company. So as I always say, when you're getting involved in this stuff, this is an investment. This is a different type of Wall Street. Be careful, pay attention, research, ask questions. The fact also is that membership interest may be represented by a non-fungible token, which is a representation of that ownership and the vehicle in which returns are distributed. Republic indicates that returns are received when a musical asset is streamed or licensed, and they'll be paid out quarterly to a digital wallet. Opulous reports Lil Pump is providing fans the chance to invest in his upcoming album track, Mona Lisa, produced by Jimmy Duvall. And investors can also invest in a new single from EDM star Kashmir, with more details being rolled out. Opulous says more famous artists will come to their music copyright investment via Republic in the coming weeks. All right, so we were talking about Songvest. We see these, this is something about investing in artists. We see that Blau did something with an NFT where he chose, I think, 300 winners that purchased an NFT, that they would get royalties on that song, on that track. I mean, that's really cool. This again, when the clarification is definitely needed, is the fans investing in music offerings via its platform are typically, quote, buying the music rights through special memberships units of an LLC that owns the rights to a song, album, or equivalent. So if you're thinking you're buying the song, and again, what does that mean for distributions? Like what's the distribution point there? What is it that they're getting a percentage of the company, of the sale, the revenue? This is confusing. Please, when you get in stuff, get involved in this. Oh, Steve, sorry, it's something that you really need to know. I know, Steve, I'm just going to we usually put people back into the audience. I know you left the room earlier and come back, so, and you popped up. So if there's something on the topics here you'd like to, just feel free to raise your hand. All right. So Los Angeles will require proof of a COVID-19 vaccine for indoor establishments. Not everybody is happy about this one, for sure. Los Angeles residents and visitors will need to show proof of a COVID-19 vaccine by next month to eat, drink, or shop indoors. Entrance to restaurants, bars, coffee shops, retailers, gyms, spas, and salons will need proof of COVID-19 immunization. Attendees of large outdoor events must also show proof of vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test. Proof of vaccination can be a vaccination card from the CDC, a photo of both sides of the card, proof from a doctor, or a digital record from California or another state or country. On Wednesday, the city council passed the new law, which was later signed by Mayor Eric Garcetti. It's set to go into effect in November. Additionally, the mandate adds all students in grades K through 12 must have the coronavirus vaccines, which was just approved statewide. Some residents wrote to the city council opposing the ordinance, claiming it was unlawful and unworkable. Officials claim an earlier spike in coronavirus cases across the country caused Los Angeles to make this choice, though nationwide cases of the virus are trending downward. Customers at outdoor events with 10,000 or more attendees must provide proof of vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test as required by the Los Angeles County Department of Health. In-house bars, vineyards, and breweries were also included in that list. Mr. Garcetti signed the ordinance on Wednesday, hoping to increase vaccination rates. And in Los Angeles, 78% of residents aged 12 and up have had the coronavirus vaccine. At least 92% of residents over 65 had one dosage. He continues saying, quote, vaccinating more Angelinos is our only way out of this pandemic, and we must do everything in our power to keep pushing those numbers up. These new rules will encourage more people to get the shot and make businesses safer for workers and customers so that we can save more lives, better protect the vulnerable, and make our communities even safer as we fight this pandemic. And finally, non-vaccinated customers can use an establishment's outside space. They can only enter a store or restaurant to use the bathroom, pick up an order, or pay if they are wearing a properly fitted mask. The penalty for a first infraction is a warning, followed by a $1,000 fine for the second, $2,000 fine for the third, and a $5,000 fine for the fourth. Religious or health-related exemptions require documentations of a negative COVID-19 test and an exemption exception. All right, before we move on overseas, if anybody has some thoughts on this, feel free to raise your hand and join the conversation. We'll bring you on up. All right, well, passport schemes. Let's talk about what's going on with over in the UK, Scotland, and in the Welsh Assembly or Senate recently approved plans to make nightclubs and other businesses check COVID passports at the door. And this was highly criticized. And it was a very narrow vote. The vote was 28 in favor and 27 against, with one member unable to vote owing to technological issues. So the night sector wants a revote. Meanwhile, the UK government recently abandoned plans to require clubs and venues to verify clients' vaccination or COVID status at the entrances. Ministers in Scotland and Wales announced they would proceed. The Scottish Parliament approved the measures last month, and the new restrictions took effect last weekend, with some exceptions for the first 2 weeks. Last week, a new software designed to let Scottish clubbers prove their COVID vaccination suffered technical issues, prompting new calls for the Scottish government to scrap the COVID passport system entirely. Reps from the nighttime industry have sought for a revote, hoping to stop the COVID Passport program from taking effect next week. The NTIA said in a statement yesterday, quote, the NTIA has long campaigned against the introduction of COVID passports due to the operational barriers these measures will cause. We were pleased to see the number of Senedd members that listened to our concerns today and voted against these proposals. Unlike in Scotland, where complete vaccination is required to join clubs and venues, in Wales, a negative COVID test is acceptable. And we're going to round out the COVID talk in New Zealand. So we're going from L.A., we're going over to, the British Empire, and then we're going to head down under into the New Zealand area. So this is a different side of the story for them. New Zealand organizers welcome vaccine passport mandate. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announced plans for a vaccine certification system by November. For the summer, festival goers will need to get vaccinated this month if they want to attend such events, according to Ardern. The vaccine certificate can be printed or shown on a phone once available, and there is currently a beta version updated right now. Hamish Pinkham, director of the Live Nation-owned Rhythm and Vines Music Festival, said that the vaccine certificate was good news for promoters and would give him the clarity he needed to run the December event. Callum Mitchell, director of event production company Team Event, says the certificate system allows them to plan events with confidence. Daydreams director Mitch Lowe, who runs two events set for early January in Nelson and Tauranga, also welcomed the vaccine certificate. Quote, it makes sense that we follow the overseas success in this area. New Zealand is on pace to fully vaccinate about 90% of its eligible population by the end of November. That is the tale of three countries or three cities right there. You hear, pushback, L.A., lots of pushback, revotes called for in Wales. And in New Zealand, they're like, yeah, awesome, cool, thanks. This is great. We can do this. Awesome. So it's very interesting to see how different countries are reacting. I know the Netherlands, we've been covering what's been going on over there. And, they had protests going on. Their appeal was rejected. And I mean, this is, ADE was, they locked it down saying you can't have any shows between 12 midnight and 6 a.m. ADE scrambled to make it all happen so they can get their shows in that during the day. So it's amazing. It's really interesting to see how different countries and different areas are reacting to this. All right. So this one is from, where is this one? From Music Ally. Because not a week goes by that we aren't going to talk about something going on with Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok. Some app is doing something again with something. And this one is Instagram merges its IGTV and feed videos into Instagram video. Just in case you weren't confused about all the different video services Instagram has that they've copied from everybody else. And to go back, by the way, they're no longer a photo sharing application. That's what Instagram said last month. So we're going to start seeing a lot more video. Instagram is shaking up the way it handles videos while it's merging two of its options, IGTV and the feed videos, the latter being regular video posts, into one new format called Instagram Video. It will get its own tab on people's Instagram profiles too. Instagram announced in its blog post, quote, we're also introducing new features like trimming, filters, and people and location tagging. Creators can continue to cross-post their videos through stories and share via direct message. Video previews and feed will now be 60 seconds long unless the video is eligible for ads, in which case the preview will be 15 seconds. Not all Instagram videos will be merged into this. However, its TikTok-like Reels feature will remain separate to Instagram Video. So if anybody's confused about what the videos are on Instagram, I am with you because everything keeps changing. Reels was announced last week, or I don't even know, did we say it on Monday? Reels is now a thing on Facebook. It's just everything's becoming this video. And one thing that I want to share that I noticed in one of my accounts, Not the Music Industry City account. It's my Stories from the Run account because I also do a running podcast and I run. I'm doing actually 50 days of 5Ks, by the way. I'm on day 11. So if you want to follow along, it's Stories from the Run on Instagram. And I do a video there. What I noticed, this latest trend was in my feed. I was scrolling through and it was all IGTV. Like there was no images. There was no static images. Anything that was showing up in my feed were all Instagram video reels. And that, or IGTV, that is something that as a musician, people in marketing in the industry are really going to have to adapt and change over to. And this is where we talk about with the artists, you know, especially the DIY artists, the do it all yourself artist. These are the challenges of like, I want to write music. I want to be able to distribute. I want to get it out there. Now I have to learn like what's changing on Instagram, what's changing on TikTok, another social platform I have to do. And that's why we do this. That's why we bring this segment into the news, is to try to help keep people at least updated on what's going on, these changes, because they're important. And when you start seeing something like this, you know, artists suggest they're overwhelmed. And in any way we can help them to just keep on top of what the changes are, because sometimes by the time you realize how to do it, you know, figure it out, it's already moved on and changed. So it's kind of like, you know, constantly chasing after everything. All right. And with that being said,
Big green dot.
It's
the spot.
our favorite segment of the day. It's the Spotify spot. And just a reminder that musicindustrycity.com, you can find all the headlines that we reference in today's show. You can go just click on the latest blog post of music industry news at noon. Plus, we are hosting an event on October 14th. So it's part of the Power of Indie virtual conference. That's October 14th through 16th. Music Industry City and Future Music Forum. We're doing a series on October 14th. The lineup is amazing. We have posted the full schedule on the musicindustrycity.com website. If you want to check it out, you can register and sign up for free. And the lineup is sick. Oh my God, this lineup is great that we got. I'm so happy with it. And we're making a huge announcement at our Open at the Welcome session. So with that in mind, let's talk about Spotify. And this is from Variety. Spotify's new Music Friday playlist favors indie and women artists, according to a new study. The International Journal of Industrial Organization concluded that Indian female artists are more frequently featured on the weekly Spotify editors playlist. Co-authors Louis Aguiar, Joel Waldfogel, and Sarah Waldfogel studied, quote, over 5,700 songs assigned to over 14,500 top 20 slots on the playlist during 2017. The researchers compared each song's rank on the playlist to its streaming performance to see if Spotify favored certain artists. They found that on the new Music Friday playlist, music put out by an indie label typically receives a higher ranking than its eventual streaming numbers would predict, resulting in an average boost of 2 spots on the playlist. Songs by women artists also benefited from a higher ranking on the playlist than their eventual streaming numbers might warrant, albeit to a lesser extent, boosting them by approximately 1.4 ranks. The result only applies to the new Music Friday playlist, and despite the higher ranking they may earn, this, quote, does not address the challenges these groups face, according to a press statement. It goes on to read, for instance, streams for music by women account for about a quarter of total streams, a share that is low compared to the number of women listening among musicians and in the population as a whole. It continued, instead, the takeaway is New Music Friday does not compound the challenges these groups face in the music industry. The researchers also note that overall, Spotify's most followed playlists do tend to promote music by artists who are already well established in the industry. And that's it for the reads. Let's open up the stage for discussion. I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock. If you'd like to offer your thoughts or comments about today's topics, now is your chance to join the conversation. And also remember, you can find all of today's show's headlines at musicindustrycity.com. And if there's no takers, I will start just doing a final wrap up here. Again, October 14th, it's going to be a great event. You can see the lineup, musicindustrycity.com. We're making a big announcement, And there's going to be a lot of changes coming. We're rolling out more programming that's going to be outside of Clubhouse. We're going to be on different platforms, live streaming, shows, broadcasts, events, networking, get-togethers. So if you're not registered at musicindustrycity.com, I may make a recommendation and say, just sign up. You can sign up for free. There's also $1.99 a month, which you get some extra benefits. You're supporting the people that are helping to keep that website going, and it's a lot. So we have a lot of content, lots of things, and I always thank you, everybody, for popping in every day in our morning show and for here. And with that, there's no takers. Then I'm just going to wrap up and say that does it for the music industry news at noon on this Thursday from New York, and we will see you next week. And that's, we do the music news Monday through Thursday. But tomorrow at 11 a.m., we do the Clubhouse, the playlist shout-out. So 11 a.m., when we do the morning show, we do shout-outs. So bring some artist recommendations. We add it to our playlist, our monthly playlists. And you can also see those playlists. You can find them at Spotify, or you can go to musicindustrycity.com and see what all the Clubhouse people have shouted out to make it to the playlist. So thanks for watching, everybody. If I don't see you tomorrow, have a great weekend, and we'll see you then. Have a rocking day.